Hi, welcome on our planet with another interview regarding pioneers, movers and shakers who make tomorrow happen today. I'm here with Chip Comins, founder, producer, and the executive director of Arday New York. Welcome, Chip.
Hello, Pamela.
Nice to have you here. Can you tell me a little bit more about Arday and your work?
Sure. Arday is American Renewable Energy Day, and it's an annual conference that we produce in Aspen, Colorado. We're going into our our seventh annual conference. It's August the 19th through the 22nd. And this year we're very happy and pleased that Ted Turner, T. Boone Pickens, and James Cameron, the director of Avatar, will all be joining us, along with many other leaders and significant people in the renewable energy and energy efficiency and sustainable space.
Now, if you're talking about these kind of names, why do people like that attend, and what can other potential attendees expect when they come? What is cooking at Arday?
Well, Arday is somewhat compared to the TED conference, but it's focused exactly and specifically on renewable energy and energy efficiency as practical solutions to the climate crisis. So we're very interested in promoting the rapid transition from fossil fuel energy to a new clean energy economy. That's the basis of the rationale, is an economic growth for our country and actually our world globally. And dealing with the carbon, I think, will become actually the next real growth of the markets worldwide as we put a price on carbon and as we begin to develop the technologies that actually will allow us to put a price, to figure out the price points and invigorate the markets so that they go to 20 and 30,000 and beyond. You've also worked with Native Americans, and I would like to highlight now the three different pillars of sustainability and apply that to Chip. Bringing renewable energy, wind energy to Native Americans, how does that impact their community? Well, it's very interesting, Pamela. The wind energy that exists in the northern Great Plains actually constitutes the richest wind resource on the planet. And yet we have some of the poorest people in the United States that live there, 80% unemployment, very high rates of alcoholism, suicide. These are not the natives that benefit from the casinos, but rather live in very rural and remote area of the country. Very few people live there, and yet there's a massive wind resource that could give us 200 gigawatts of clean wind energy using no water, which is a critical issue, and that equates to about a third of the electricity in the United States. So, economic empowerment for Native Americans, environmental solution for the rest of the country. This is a win-win situation.
Yeah. Just my own curiosity, what is holding that project back?
Well, unfortunately, the wind industry is driven by something called a production tax credit, and the Native American people have a sovereign status with the U.S. government and do not pay taxes as a people, and therefore they don't receive the benefit of the production tax credit. So the banks or the corporations that have a big tax appetite won't fund and do partnerships because they're leaving, tens of millions of dollars on the table that if they go off the reservation and develop it over the line, that they benefit from. So unfortunately, until we get a tradable production tax credit, that's not going to really apply to the Native American.
So wind energy could obviously be a solution for a social group. What about the environmental benefits of wind energy, if we would talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, wind produces zero carbon and uses no water, and so the environmental benefits are many, and they're tremendous. Wind is the fastest growing sector of the electricity industry over the last 10 or 15 years, and last year we doubled almost doubled the installation of wind farms. We put in 10,000 megawatts in the country. So it's definitely on the move. Unfortunately, we're still only at about 1% of our total mix is wind. But when you take wind in consort with solar and the hydropower, which produces no carbon, and the other strategies, energy efficiency is the low-hanging fruit that we hear about a lot. Together, we can easily provide more than enough energy to completely get off of coal, which is the culprit. Coal is really what's melting the glaciers.
Yeah, the solution is to find the right mix between alternative energy solutions right now, and with that bridge, we can hopefully move forward to a more sustainable society. There's a lot of promises from the sea, the oceans as well. Algae has been mentioned as well. Coming back to wind energy, because that is the fastest growing solution right now. What are the economies of wind energy? How would that look differently if we would, instead of 1%, have 10 or 50%? How would that look like differently?
Well, I mean, we have to get used to seeing the wind turbines. I think that they're very beautiful. And what I tell people is that if you don't see a wind farm or a wind turbine out your door, then you should get very angry, because that means that we're not moving quick enough. You can't just rely on your energy company to provide you with wind unless you see it. The electrons are used and distributed in the locality in which they're produced. And so that it's fed into the grid, but the grid is mostly produced by coal and natural gas and some nuclear power. And I think that we must begin to demand from our elected leaders locally, regionally, and nationally that we want to see all forms of renewable energy, wind at the forefront of that, being implemented now.
You were speaking yesterday at the Sustainable Planet Film Festival and said indeed that we have no more time to waste. We have 10 years left. So why aren't there a bigger urgency right now to embrace sustainable energy sources? What is now hindering a real bridge towards a sustainable society? And maybe go into the question, what would a sustainable society look like?
Well, we have a situation right now in the Gulf of Mexico where it really is the pigeons are coming home to roost, and we can see, with our eyes, what the effects of our reliance on the fossil fuel for our energy needs are, and it's destroying ecosystems. The carbon is an invisible threat that's melting the glaciers and acidifying the oceans and creating the disappearance of the Greenland ice sheets and the glaciers all over the world. And we must begin to come to terms with the science. Science is not a choice. Science is a fact of life, of what's happening, and then very quickly move. All of us have to reduce our carbon footprints. Everything is local. Local, regional, national, international. But at the end of the day, everything is local. And so we have to begin to understand that it's our choices in terms of the vehicles that we drive, in terms of the power that we use in our apartments, in our homes, in our cities, in our towns, that very quickly have to get transferred from fossil fuel to clean energy. And in order for that to happen, we must put price signals on that in order to have the transference. So, just to reiterate, everything is local. That's where it begins, and that's where it ends.
Yeah. Two more questions for you regarding basically one of the missions of our day, which is education. You've also been trained by Al Gore. What exactly does that mean? What is your task within that position?
Well, Al Gore trained 3,000 of us at this point, I think, all over the world to deliver his Inconvenient Truth slideshow. Now he's on to the solutions, and in fact, I'll be training with him again at the end of the month in Nashville to that end. And so Al sort of was the first one who stood up and made this issue become a known issue in the mass consciousness, and so I'm very happy and proud to be one of his his ambassadors.
Ambassadors, we can say.
Yeah, and along with some of your friends that you know, and many others, and we're really moving as quickly as we can to educate the population. So one of my expressions is of course the production of American Renewable Energy Day, and we work together with the Climate Project and Gore's group to advocate for a clean energy solution to the world's problems.
So Chip Comins is one of those people who make sustainability closer as a choice, and education is key. Our day is key as well. What is your wish for the future of our planet as a person? What would your wish be?
Look, I'm an advocate for life and love, and I hope that we can come to a point in time when we see ourselves as equal to all the other forms of life on the planet, and we're not above it, but we're just part of the web of life. We're simply a strand in it, and man has and woman has the responsibility as stewards on the planet. So I see a time when we are actually moving more off of a competitive society in terms of the capitalistic approach to a much more collaborative worldwide community where collaboration is the key to our collective survival.
So every person has something that could contribute to the solution, and it's now the moment to connect all of them. That's why I'm interviewing visionary minds who are the movers and shakers of today, hopefully bringing sustainable lifestyles closer to you and create a sustainable planet. Thank you so much, Chip, for this interview.
Thank you, Pamela. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.